All right, fans. Good morning. I'll be shouting a bit because we have construction going on just around the house. Okay, they are constructing, and I feel it's imperative, it's necessary for me to do this video. I wanted to go on live, but I changed my mind to do a recording so that I can actually do all that I need to do. So hi, how are you out there? I'll be putting on my glasses because I'm doing a review this morning of a book. Over the years, nobody say I don't know book, but like reading books has been one thing I've been telling myself that I have to cultivate that habit. And just on Saturday, I was at an event, Wealth Summit 5.0, where we had great minds in the real estate industry speaking to us on the real money of Lagos. Yes, Lagos was used as a case study because statistics has it that money generated in Nigeria, 55% of it comes from Lagos. And you will all agree with me that Lagos is known for business. Lagos is a state that has opportunities. Lagos is a state that you can just on your street make money, you know. Lagos is a place where there is a market, as in readily available market for virtually any kind of business you want to do, call it services or products. So Lagos is one place that you can easily make money if you are not lazy, unlike some states where there's no market for what you have. So that is why, some people will be asking, why is it that some people can't leave Lagos? Why is it that some people are just managing room and parlor in Lagos? Why can't they leave Lagos? So these are some of the reasons why people can't just leave Lagos. Okay? All right. I've been reading this book. Maybe you've heard about it. Let me bring it. I've been reading this book. I've had it for a while now. I went to an office, and that's the gift the man gave to me and my friend. And he gave us books. In fact, I got like 7 books that day from this man. That was the gift he gave us for coming to his office. I don't know if you have seen this book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Please, if you haven't, try and get this book and read it. This book simply teaches you how to create wealth for yourself. Now, for 16 years counting, I worked a 9 to 5 job. I was in the banking sector. Some of you know that already. And these are some of the principles. I didn't even know what I was doing then, but this is some of the things I did. And seeing it here, as a principle that has been there for years. This book was written years back. It's over 20, 30 years. I simply discovered that this is it, and I've been doing it from just common sense or the knowledge or wisdom that God gave me. Okay, now this book talks about wealth as being power, and that's true because when you are wealthy, you can do a whole lot of things. When you are wealthy, like Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo calls it, he said, get lost money. When you are wealthy, there are a lot of things you can do. When they say there's no ticket, like you were saying, they said there's no ticket is sold out. It's for the commoners. Now, for those who are HNIs, high net worth individuals, there's nothing like ticket is sold out, because rarely first class gets sold out. So when they say ticket is sold out, it might be for the economy class, business class, or so. But for you that have your money, first class can never be sold out. You will always get a seat on that plane. And he calls it get lost money. That there are some things that tell you the cost. You are like, get lost, just pay it. Like we say in laid back English here in Nigeria, money stops nonsense. And that is the truth. Money stops nonsense. So you need to apply it. Now, listen to me out there. Are you a 9 to 5 person? Are you working for anybody, an organization? You must do this. Is the principle of the 10, 10, 30, 50. Like this book explains, you must pay yourself first. As you're earning your salary, you must pay yourself first. Some of us are in the habit of, you pick things on credit, it's now dependent on your salary. Once the salary is coming in, you're disbursing it to pay out those loans you took, to pay out those credits you took, those clothes you bought, the hair you bought for the ladies, so on and so forth. Now you must pay yourself first. From that your salary, you have to set aside a certain percentage after you have paid your tithe, for the Christians who believe in tithing. Now you pay your tithe, you remove a certain percentage. This book advocates for anything not less than 10% must be set aside for yourself. Like Ashimolo was said, it said, set aside a money that no hunger can touch. That means if I put it somewhere that in my days, I do a lot of fixed deposits. That's why I put such funds. Meaning I can't just call for it. I can't just access it. It's not a call account. So I can't just recall it. It goes to that account. Fixed deposits is there. Now a bank like FCMB does what they call INEST. So on a daily basis, it's like doing our job. The system takes a certain amount that you have designated. You have to say, I want to save 1 million over a period of 6 months, and then the system will calculate it for you, break it down for you in bits. Okay, now that bits, they break it down for you. Every day system will debit you. This is actually very good. You can use that as a way of a savings. Now for people who can't really by themselves remove this money, set it aside, or as your salary is coming in, you debit that your salary account and push it to that very account. In my days, I had my kids' accounts, but that's by the way, that was for them. Actually, it's for them. I do standing order, the money goes in there. I can use it to pay their school fees and all that. So these are ways, as a person that is working, you want to save. If you're single or you have a family, there are different approaches to it. You can, for your children, open accounts for them. Mine, I open an account for them as early as possible. In fact, as soon as I give birth to them, I'm doing their international passport. This is one of the things I promise myself I'll give my children opportunity, exposure. So I do that. I get their international passport ready, get visas or countries available for them in readiness for traveling with them, because I said I will expose my children to such things. It's your decision. Now for funds, I have their accounts in their name, kiddies account, and that from when people start giving money for them, use it to buy this, buy that, I don't do that. I put it there for them. It's their money and it grows as they are growing. There are a lot of things you can do to get ready for the future. I'll be doing this is part 1. I'm going to tag it part 1. So I'll be doing more of this. Come online and discuss with you, because I see that some people who are working have this difficulty of savings. Some, I didn't say all, some can't save. They want something happened in my career path 2 years ago, and people were wondering, how was she able to have this kind of thing? How was she able to do this? I had my first FX account in 2007. I started working in 2006. By 2007, I had opened my first dollar account. By God's grace, I had a dollar account, I had a pounds account. When I went to the UK, I opened the pounds account. With the funds, the change I had left over, I placed it there, and that was how I kept growing it. For the dollar, 2007 was my first time of leaving the shores of Nigeria to South Africa. I opened that account. The funds that came in with me, like change, I placed it there. From there, I kept, once in a while, I just buy funds, keep. I see cheap funds, I buy it, I keep. So people were wondering, how was she able to do this? It's just a savings culture. It didn't mean I wasn't spending. I was spending, but when you are spending from your 100% that came in as your salary, give God the 10. The other 10, you have to use it for try and give. Also give is a culture you have to have. Give. Some people think you give because you have Essex. No, giving is a culture. Giving is a culture, is a habit. It's something you tell yourself I have to do. So also give generously is a principle of life. Wealth, riches, fun, having money, being prosperous does not come by prayer. My papa people always say that prosperity does not answer to prayer and fasting. It answers to just one law, and that is seed time and harvest, which means you must sow to reap. Okay, so some people will keep praying, God, God, God. The prayer is just for God to bless the work of your hands, like he said, I'll bless the work of your hands. So you pray to have him bless the work of your hands, and that's it. So he blesses by either giving you ideas what to do and all that. That's the topic for another day, because when God gives you an idea, no hell can stop it. I mean, no hell can frustrate it except you frustrates it. Because when he says a word, he backs it up. You understand? So it all depends on your relationship with this God and how he speaks to you. Okay, so back to the book, the savings culture. Today I'm talking about savings culture. Some people find it difficult. So what are the ways that you can help yourself to save? One, you can create kids account for those with family. For your kids, have an account with them. Place what they call standing order. Go to your bank and ask your bank for standing order. They will place it. As your salary is dropping, set it to date of that your salary. The system will debit you and warehouse those funds for them. Okay. Now another way to save is by yourself. You move the fund to a designated account where you don't have ATM, you don't have internet banking. Okay, so by the time you think, and if you're a banker, don't put it in your own bank where you work. Make sure it's with another bank. Yeah, so that it will take you, when you think of the stress, the time, you just have to make do with another thing, or make do with what you have, and then pay yourself first. Remove at least, this book advocates for nothing less than 10%. Some will tell you make sure you save 50%. I did 50. Make sure you save 50%. For some of you that work in a place where you get other monies, maybe from jobs that you do, or your office is such, like in federal parastatals, where they receive, you know what I'm saying, a good jet comes in now. In our own as bankers, we have what we call thank you sir. People come in. There was a time I wasn't touching my salary. I wasn't, because the thank you sirs were enough when I was a teller. I mean, the thank you sirs were enough to pay for my expenses, my daily expenses and all that, and even save from it, keep a certain portion as savings. So I didn't need to start touching my salary. Seriously, while I was a teller in Apapa, I didn't need to touch my salary. The thank you sirs was enough, because of course the fine babe, fine chick, and the correct customer service. I am super when it comes to customer service. So of course the gifts kept coming. Thank you, have this one, thank you for helping us a lot and lot. So I use it for my day-to-day, and I also saved from it. So my salary was 100% savings. So it depends on where you're working. Some of you work in such places where you see people saying thank you to you. Don't breeze it away. Don't go buying expensive things. See, Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo said something. Before you buy, he said he drove Hummer Jeep, right? But before he bought a Hummer, he had money for 10 Hummers. I have this guy that I dated way back, not just dating. We were engaged. He did the traditional wedding and all that. So that's Makinde of blessed memory. He's late now. Makinde says something. Maybe I should say that was my first husband. For some of you who didn't know, he's late. So Makinde said something, and he says Before I buy a car, I or before I bought a car, I had money for 3 cars, so as to be able to maintain it. And he has this adage. He will say 1 million minus 1 naira is no longer 1 million. So he was this. He's very generous. He's very, let me use the word loud, but he's still a guy who believes in the savings culture. He doesn't just waste money. So guys, if you are working or doing a business, set aside salary for yourself. Some business people don't even pay themselves salary. You just see them spending from their business. Designate a portion for yourself as your salary, and make sure you don't spend beyond that. I have this cousin who runs a pharmacy store. When you go to her pharmacy store, you see her, for instance, she takes out something to give to you as maybe a gift or drink, or to serve you, to give you cola, like we have here, our tradition, to give you cola. She will tell her sales girl, put it on my tab, meaning she pays for what she takes out of her shop. That's accountability. That's accountability. I love that very well. And as I speak to you, she has chains of businesses because she's doing it the right way. She pays herself salary as well as she pays every other person. So the business does not suffer. But some of us here, we don't know that. We just keep spending from the business. We keep spending from our proceeds. And before you know it, you are touching your capital. So it's not nice. You must keep a record. You must keep stock to know what is coming into your business, to know how much you are making, to know if you are running at a loss. Okay? And that will help you to checkmate yourself. So if you're running at a loss, you know exactly what to do. You are spending more than you're earning, you know exactly what to do. Of course, when you're spending more than you are earning, you are running at a loss. That's a deficit. So guys, as a salary earner, especially, make sure you keep something on reserve, money that no hunger can touch. It's very important. And now it's from that money that you have saved, okay, that you will start doing investments. Now, I'm into real estate. I'm a realtor, and we have this program we call buyback scheme. And I talk to people. Most times I talk to business people, and they'll be like, no, I'm using my money for business. I'm like, even as a business person, you're not supposed to use all your money for business. Yes, you heard me right. If you're keeping good track of your business, as you are making money, you designate a portion that you plow back to the business. Okay? Now you must save from what you are making. Take out a percentage as your savings that no longer can touch, no business can touch. Now it's from that money that you have set aside as your savings, that is where you do investments from. Some of them have this idea that because I'm in business, everything I have should enter into that business. Now please, what if something happens to that business? Like in this part of the world where we have no insurance, or maybe we have, but the insurance company will come up with stories when something happens. How do you cushion that effect? I talk to some of them, come and do buyback. They say, no, I rather put my money. If I put that money in my business, I will earn so. I'll make 300% as profit. Guy, the money I'm telling you to come and use for buyback is not your business money. That is if you're doing the right thing. And that right thing is that you're supposed to know your income. You know what is coming to you. Pay yourself from it. From what you paid yourself, you set aside a percentage. Take a percentage for your expenditures. Let's say 30%. In fact, it's advisable you pay your self first. That's remove that money for your savings. So when you do remove that money for your savings, whatever is left is what you now plan with. But some people don't do that. They start spending as the money comes. Remove that percentage. Then whatever is left of that percentage, start spending from that portion after you have taken out your tithe, right? And you have given out to charity, like done charity. You must designate people that you take care of. Your parents, your aunts, your aunties, your siblings that you know they need help. Just designate a portion. This is going to this person. I do that. I have that list. people I send money to on a monthly basis. Okay, so these are the things you must do. Now, for you businessman that will come and tell me that I want, no, I can't do buyback, which is an investment scheme, by the way. I can't do it because I would rather put that money in my business, or I would rather, I don't have money to. Some will tell you I don't have money. Everything is in business. That was very wrong. I have this in-law. It happened to him sometime in 1993, where his goods sunk in the Atlantic Ocean. And that's how he went back to square one. Of course, with no insurance, most of us here don't insure our businesses. With no savings set aside, everything went into that importation. What will the man do? But when you set aside a percentage of your proceed and say this is money that no longer can touch, and you make that money work for you, you must not be there. Like Ashimolowo said, you have at least 4 streams of income. Even God, when he created man and placed him in the garden, he had 4 streams for man. Go to Genesis, you see it there. God had 4 streams for man. That shows that you should, as an individual, have nothing less than 4 streams of income, ways that money comes into your hand. You shouldn't just be dependent on that business you are doing, that one business. I keep telling people, when I introduce myself, I say I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have this business. I do remittance. I do real estate. I sell bed sheets, duvets, perfume. I sell clothes. I sell I do proof of fund, visa packaging. They say, it's too much now. It's too much. You shouldn't be jack of all trade. Guys, it's not being jack of all trade. In fact, let me be jack of all trade and master of all. And by God's grace, I put my energy in all of them. I put my energy in all of them. So there's nothing wrong in having multiple businesses. I keep telling them, a man like Dangote, does he have one business? They say, hey, you're not yet. That is the mentality. You're not yet Dangote. I have to think like him to become like him. The scripture says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. So if you're in that my category and people say it's like to make jest of you, like at times they say it to make mockery of me, Eugene, nothing where you know go sell, I will laugh too. As they laugh at me, I will laugh back. As they come and buy, my own is you should come and buy. You understand? So you must have different ways of earning. And like Pastor Matthew said, you must not be there for that thing to work. Put your money to work for you. Let the children of your money work. The grandchildren of your money work. As you are earning from that your investment, you are still putting the money, putting it back to work for you. Discover places where you can put your money. Yes, we have a lot of scams around here in this part of the world. You can look into buying shares outside internationally. I'm sorry, I'm not an advocate of shares in Nigeria. As I speak to you, I have so many shares I bought from banks back in the day. bcoz, name them. What's the name of that one? Transcorp. A lot of them. Intercontinental. Where are those banks now? Gone. Shares has dropped to 0 naira. So for me, the only shares I have now that I bought like 2 years ago is MTN, because it's a multinational. That's why I bought it. So if you can, some people do invest in companies outside these shores. They invest, put their money in. If you can discover that, go ahead and do it. It's very okay. It's very good. Okay? Discover companies outside here, invest in them. So like someone was saying, you can see a company that is into medicals, invest in it, because medicine is something that is a hot cake. See someone going into food production, invest. It's a hot cake. IT, invest, is a hot cake. So that's your funds that you're setting aside. You must invest it. Real estate is a hot cake. Invest in it. So guys, I'll be drawing the curtain today. I've said a lot. Today, what I spoke on is savings culture. You must have a savings culture. From the 100%, pay yourself first by setting aside a certain percentage. This is a recap. Set aside a certain percentage. It's that percentage that you would now work on to set aside your expenses. That will now tailor your expenses. Cut off things you don't need. If you are buying Brazilian hair now, and you are struggling to pay, maybe it's not the time yet. It's not even maybe, it's not yet the time for you to buy Brazilian hair. Some of us will save money to buy iPhone. It's not yet time for you to buy iPhone. Or some will even want to take it on credit. I see adverts where they be advertising, come and take loan to travel. I'm like, what nonsense. Why would I take loan to travel? I rather take that loan to buy land. I rather take that loan to do buyback scheme. If I check that the profit, what's it called, the ROI I'll be getting from the buyback will be higher than the interest I'll be paying for that loan, then I rather take that loan and put it in real estate. Why would I take loan to travel, to go on holiday? That means I'm not yet there. Because if I'm there, I should be able to have at least 3 times the amount I'll spend on that my vacation should be at my leisure as my savings. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So guys, some of us, once we make money, first thing that comes to mind is move from that place they're living and go to a bigger apartment. Some, what comes to their mind is buy a car. I'm sorry to say it, I don't have a car. I don't own a car. The first car I bought was a car I bought for my husband for business, which he played with, he toyed with. Eventually he sold that car off. And what was the car? It was for business. I bought a 15-ton truck for business haulage because I wanted to go into that business, and I spoke to him, sold the idea to him to manage it, but of course he didn't manage it. He wasn't interested, and he ended up selling that truck. I bought that truck in 2012 for 3 million naira. That was the first car I bought. Till now I don't own a car. It's not because I can't afford a car. It is not that. It doesn't mean I'm poor. It doesn't mean I'm wretched. So I want to go anywhere I want to go to. I can book a ride if it's very prestigious. It's a prestigious event that I have to, make appearance. I can book a ride. I can take the public transport system. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that I can't afford it. But like Pastor Matthew said, you want to buy a car, make sure you can afford that car 10 times before you buy the car. There are a lot of things you can do with money as ways of investment that will yield you more money. So what am I saying? For that young girl today whose concern, whose whole being is screaming, I want to have an iPhone, I want to buy this hair, I want to buy bone straight, I want to buy the other kind of hair, I want to wear a costume of so amount of money. You're not there yet. Because if you are saving to buy that, you are not there yet. From your savings, you should be able to do that and have 10 times left over. That's when you are there. That is when you are there. Like Papa will say,